Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Minnesota Left-Handers podcast. This is the first in a series of 3 episodes that I'm releasing here about Minnesota golf. To be honest, this project started in a college class of mine. I'm currently getting my master's, and as part of a group project, we had to do a blog, and as a group we decided to write about the great Minnesota outdoors. Each of us kind of took a different aspect of it, the great Minnesota outdoors, and it wasn't an assignment that struck me particularly. So I thought, you know what, this is going to be brutal, it's just going to be boring and whatever, but I decided to liven it up and, at least write about something I enjoyed. So I chose golf because obviously I've got a podcast here. I've at the helm of trying to grow a lefty tournament. I play a lot, and it's something that I very much enjoy. So I thought, you know what, I might as well make something of this. So when I looked at Minnesota golf, what comes to mind is the Brainerd Golf Trail, Giants Ridge, some of the ones around the metro, Stone Ridge, a lot of the private clubs, Rush Creek, even Dakota Ridge out in Morton. You look at some of those, the meadows at Mystic Lake, some of those are there and definitely, if not recognized at a state level, nationally recognized courses in the resort world, especially up in Brainerd. You look at some of those, and Golf Digest consistently puts the Classic and Maddens on their list of the top 100 courses. Giants Ridge gets lots of recognition as well, but I was thinking, this state has a lot of really, really good golf that is underrated. And then I started thinking, along that stretch of Highway 10, kind of in the North Metro there, up through Little Falls, there's a lot of really, really good golf there as well, that is under-recognized. And so I did 3 blog posts about golf courses that you can hit if you just drive that stretch of Highway 10 from Anoka to Little Falls. And that stretch starts at Greenhaven Golf Course. Visible from Highway 10, Greenhaven Golf Course is a historic course that boasts tricky yet enjoyable greens at an affordable price. Golfers have to navigate the beautiful mature trees and lush green grass. Just about 25 miles north of Minneapolis in the North Metro, Greenhaven, I would put it in that must-play category. Just 12 miles west of there on Highway 10 is the links at Northfork. You're going to pass right by it on Highway 10. You can't miss it. As you're heading west, look off to the right, and there it is in Ramsey. The course might be the nicest and most well-respected on this stretch. I'm going to argue that in a later episode, but I do think that the links at Northfork is a well-respected and very nice course. It is the closest that a Minnesotan can come to experiencing links style in the home of golf. Like the link style that we see in the home of golf, over in Scotland. I would say that the links at Northfork is the closest that we get to that. Where Greenhaven presents sort of this parkland style of play with these mature trees and green grass that is mown, and it's Northfork's going to play dry. It's going to have lots of taller, wispier fescue grasses. The absence of trees here allows the wind to wreak havoc, which poses a unique challenge to golfers. Next, we have Elk River Golf Club, which is just 16 miles west, and then just 3 miles north of Highway 10. So you can't see it from Highway 10, but once you hit Elk River, just about 16 miles away from the links at Northfork, is Elk River Golf Club. At Elk River Golf Course, which as you're driving up, you can see they've imprinted ERGC like in a flower bed in a hole that you can see right from the road as you're driving in. Elk River Golf Club is an old course with small greens and trees that crowd the fairways. It's a course where you have to hit it straight. Otherwise, you're gonna be punching out a lot back into the fairways, and these greens are tough to hit. Lots of chip ups and one putts, for par to shoot a good score out there. There's a review from Google that I thought was very telling and represents the course well. It's from Auguster O, who wrote this Google review. Elk River Golf Course is a great course. It's tough. The layout is fair, but the greens are small. You've got to be accurate if you want to score. But if you do hit a green, you usually have a very, very makeable birdie chance. They have fast greens. Very tough par threes. Local knowledge, take an extra club. 2 if it's windy. The course has been in great condition every time I've played it. It's an easy walk for the most part, which I love. Some hills give the course character, but all in all, a fun course to play. The clubhouse sandwich with tots in the clubhouse with tots in the clubhouse shouldn't be missed. It's excellent. Sometimes I don't know which I look forward to more when I'm scheduled to play here, the golf or the sandwich and tots. If you're in the area, definitely worth playing. So we get a little bit from Auguster O there, who clearly maybe a bit of a foodie as well. I don't know. But had lots of good things to say about Elk River Golf Course. They have a really good practice area as well. When you pull in, the parking lot is big. There's more parking, out by the clubhouse and then a bunch over kind of by the practice area. They have a pretty long chipping area. You can get out to maybe 50, 60 yards to work on your chipping and your pitching with a bunker there as well. They have a practice green that is quite large with lots of holes, plenty of room to work on your lag putting and your short putts as well. It's pretty undulating too, which is kind of nice. You don't always see that at courses. You can kind of work on your side hill, uphill, downhill putts and stuff like that we know are important to becoming a better putter. So all of that sits next to a driving range that runs along the first hole. So the full service practice facility definitely adds to the allure of Elk River Golf Course. Just a short jaunt west from Elk River lands you in Becker, Minnesota, a small town with a golf course as the centerpiece. Just 1.2 miles to the north of Highway 10, Pebble Creek Golf Course. Between the links at Northfork and a course that I'm going to start post number 2 with Territory Golf Club in St. Cloud, which again, we're not quite there yet. I'm highlighting Pebble Creek here at the moment. But between Pebble Creek and the links at Northfork, these are probably the 2 of the nicest that I've talked about on this trip so far. But Pebble Creek is a parkland style course with absolutely immaculate greens that get turned up when they host USGA regional qualifiers here. They get a couple of those. They also have the Class A State High School League tournament there, which is a big deal. It's well respected enough to get that tournament. It's tough, and like I said, the condition is just unreal. Every time I go there, I'm amazed at how well the course conditions are. The course winds through well-spaced, mature trees not far from the Sherburne County Refuge area. A review from Google says it's well worth the drive. The greens are always good, nice pace of play, great risk-reward course. If you're coming up, I would recommend playing the local as well, as it has a great layout and makes a great 27-hole day of golf. And that's Lonnie Fleck via Google Reviews. To that point, I would say this, as someone who's played that course a lot, it is a wonderful course to walk. I mean, it's flat. The distance green to tee is not very far, so you're not, you don't feel worn out after getting to the tee, after leaving the green. Some courses, especially, ones maybe built in the last 20, 25 years, where they've really built a lot of distance between greens and tees, and that's just not something that Pebble Creek has. It's a walker's delight. The review also references the local. This is a course, Pebble Creek, that used to have 27 holes of golf that they sort of rotated through. So if you wanted to play 18, you might play what they used to call the red, white, or blue course. You'd play two of those. But they rotated them all in, and they have since made a change. They made the red and the white sort of their championship 18-hole course, and kind of renamed them front nine, back nine. But then across the road, they have what used to be, like I said, called the blue side, which is now the local nine. Juniors can play out there for an extremely discounted rate. If I remember right, it's like $5 a round or something for the juniors. It's a great deal. I believe they put the big cups and the greens out there, so it just kind of makes the game more accessible. And that's what they're trying to do. The condition on that side is still wonderful. It's not as good as on the championship course side, but even at that, it's better than many courses around. They've got foot golf out there, and another practice green out there as well with a chipping area with bunkers and things. That's another aspect of Pebble Creek that I think makes it a bit of a destination, a place that you definitely want to go and spend the day, stop on your way up north. They have a full range, a big practice putting area, and then an even bigger chipping area than does Elk River Golf Course. So it's something that is definitely worth checking out when you're there. Additionally, they have a really well-stocked pro shop, which I suppose is necessary given its location. It is kind of in a no man's land between the metro areas of Minneapolis and St. Cloud. So there's not a lot of golf stores around, so they do a good job of keeping that stocked. And it's a really good pro shop and really good people working in the clubhouse. One other thing that I will say about Pebble Creek that I really like is that they have lots of open events. Many courses have a lot of events, but they're like member events only. This one you can sign up for. Anyone can sign up for. They advertise them a lot, and 27-hole events. They're scramble events. They've got lots of opportunities to come play, get your competitive juices flowing, and play with buddies and play that team style golf. All right, this is where I'm going to pause the journey at this point, the 78-mile journey from Anoka to Little Falls, Minnesota, where this ends. We've talked about 4 different golf courses. We began at Greenhaven Golf Course in Anoka, went on to Ramsey, Minnesota, and the links at Northfork, into Elk River and Elk River Golf Club, and then up to Pebble Creek Golf Course in Becker. This stretch in particular was about 30 miles, and like I said, these are courses that are often overlooked and are really, really fantastic courses. I think the links at Northfork probably, of the 4 here, has the most notoriety, but you would be missing out if you didn't stop at Greenhaven, Elk River, and definitely Pebble Creek as well. As I said, Pebble Creek on this whole list of maybe 8 courses that I'm going to highlight here in this podcast 3-part series. Pebble Creek is definitely top 3 on that list. And so come back for the next episode 2 of 3, where we will finish the leg of this trip, and then part 3 is an extras edition, a few courses along the way that are a little bit further off Highway 10, but definitely are worth stopping at as well. So with that, I look forward to chatting with you again, and thanks for listening.